Welcome. Welcome in to this very auspicious time. Lionsgate, this is my fourth celebration of Lionsgate on Eventbrite, sharing it with people all over the world. And this year is so special. I found out last year when I was looking around at the astrology of that next one for 2026, and I found that there were 4 planets that were going to 4 degrees, and they're outer planets too, so it's really very special. And I'm going to be telling you about that, and also how to prepare our hearts to live in our highest timeline. And the Lion's Gate is the time to do this alignment. You're going to find that it is the cornerstone of everything for you to really get settled on what you are here to do. Now, you can call that a goal, a vision, a dream. I call it Lotus Heart Visions. For me, Lotus Hearts are people who are heart-centered people, who oftentimes are very empathetic and creative. And at times, people ask them to do a lot of things and maybe they don't know how to say no or put up boundaries. You know, that's one of the things about being a highly empathetic person. But also, just being a highly sensitive, and they have all kinds of groovy names now, neurodivergent or whatever you want to call, just, really creative minds. So if you are a creative mind or would like your mind to be more creative, this is a good place for you to be as you come to understand astrology not as prediction, not as, how you are or how you should be or live. Astrology is a language that helps us to get along. That's what it was meant for from the very beginning, how to get along. It only became predictive, and I don't like to go into this stuff, but they were burning wives and lives, witches and wives and lives because they felt that they wanted to go there, and they came to the astrologer, and the astrologer said, "You don't want to burn me, king." And he said, "Why?" And he said, "Because I can tell you what day to wage war." And he said, "Okay, astrologer in the castle, burn the witches." Which to me is really horrible, horrible. But my point is, astrology was never meant to be predictive. It became predictive at that time in order to survive. The astrologers and many of those witches were really midwives. They were healers. And we are turning that all around now, though. That's what the cool part is. We are turning it all around. And I am just so grateful. So today there are some astro insights and also various different kinds of things to think about as you prepare for the Lionsgate. Now, the cool thing is that this video is good for Lionsgate every year, but it's also good for any time you really want to prepare your heart to live your highest timeline. And what does that mean? Only you can know, because it's your highest timeline. So really, it's a call to get intuition centered in a way that grounds you, rather than, some people, if they have too much intuition going, they feel very ungrounded. But this is a grounding method that I offer that has a lot of Qigong and what I call psychic physical movement, that it's kind of right brain, left brain unification messages as you move, so that you have a lot of meaning as you exercise. So you never feel like it's exercise. It's like prayer poems. as you do your movement, mainly in yoga, some Qigong blended together, yoga dance, I like to say. But anyways, that's the flow thing, right? So what's your flow? Because that's what this is all about. Preparing our hearts to live our highest timeline is about really getting centered on what it is, your lotus heart vision you want to give the world, and what is it that puts you in flow state. Because flow state is really what it's all about. And if you've ever been in flow state where whether you run or paint or, various different surfing, there's so many ways to get into that state. Um, even meditating, it's all leading you to that place where you are beyond the mind, at peace, and really enjoying. And the fact that we can do things like be creative from that space, or, surf, which is incredible, from that space. It means that we can align with our soul goal, our soul purpose, our calling, the reason why we're here. So, what's happening now with these 4 planets that are 4 degrees? And what is 4? Well, 4 is about stability. And we'll talk a little more about it. We're going to talk about what it is, what it means to you, and how you can optimize your Lion's Gate awakening this year. Now, it happens every year, August 8th. This year is very special because of these 4 planets at 4 degrees, which I'll tell you more about as we continue on. So anyways, my name is Reverend Aliah Selah, and I'm an astrologer, a joy whisperer, a musician, an artist, a teacher, and a lover of life. So if you feel like what you're seeing is interesting, there's more that you would may be interested in. So just hang out for a while. I would love to get to know you, think what you are thinking. And if you want to tell me about that in a comment, I think that's awesome, because I'm doing this for you, because as we optimize our energy through understanding what I call astro opportunities. That's right, astro opportunities. There are doorways, there are certain times that really open up those portals to quantum leap into what it is you're really here to do, especially if it's something that kind of is eluding you for various reasons. And there can be so many. It doesn't mean that you've done something wrong. There's so many lessons we are here to learn that I think that what I've found is even the setbacks are incredibly helpful. Maybe not at the time, they feel like setbacks, but later on, when you look back, you're like, wow, that's really, really helpful. So we're going to continue on, because what's happening right now is what I'm calling humanity's choice point. Think about that for a second. Now, it's happening in 2026. It's also happening this July. And part of the reason is this 4 planets at 4 degrees. But it's also happening because of all the things you see happening, even if you're not into astrology at all. It's really a lot of changes happening right now. And humanity is at a choice point, and that means a lot of things. We'll go into it further, but mainly we have to choose that we want to live on our highest timeline. What does that mean and how does that entail? Well, we'll talk about that more, but the most important thing is that we get to choose. And it's very important that you choose, and you choose what life will bring you joy and really sustain you in a way that you have not been able to, perhaps up until this time, or that you once did, or that you know that you always could. Whatever it is, now's the time to really shift with the shift and make yourself anew, which is actually lyrics from my song Across the Universe 2013, which I'm going to play in a little bit. Here we go. This is some important focuses to tend the soil, because what we plant is lotus heart seeds. We plant them, and there's a wonderful way to do that if you're a computer person and you kind of end up with computer neck, because what you're doing is you are taking your lotus heart seed and you are doing these half circles with your neck. And when you plant your lotus heart seed, here, if I can put it in so you can see it, then what happens is, you should have your arms straight though. But anyways, when you do that, then it takes different tendons in your neck that you are operating. And then when you have it come up, and that's like this again, and grow, that's other ones that are in your neck, and helpful if you lean forward, holding your core, of course. But anyways, I have lots of therapeutic movement that I love to do. It's not exercise to me. It's yoga dance, laughing lotus heart qigong. It's really an expression that's fun and interesting. If you're interested, find out more about it later. But right now, we're going to talk about that lotus heart vision that needs some soil tended. You know, the sacred soil, we have to prepare the soil. Just like when you garden, you have to prepare the sacred soil. And the sacred soil comes from the ideas that are clear to you, that bring you joy, when you simplify it down and truly forgive everyone, because forgiveness is for you, it's not for them. They don't care if you forgive them most of the time, but if you forgive them, it opens up your heart for more love. So that's why we forgive. If it gets to that person and it helps them, all the better, but it's really for you. So then you can release it. That's right. To clarify, to simplify, to forgive and release it. To clarify and simplify, to forgive and release it. Oh yeah. To become still enough. Let's see, I got to move this. Hold on. To become still enough to hear the quiet wisdom of our own hearts. Then we see our lotus heart visions and plant the seed at the lion's gate begins to open. And that's the thing, is that right now we're preparing for Lion's Gate, which is a wonderful time for us to really choose timelines and manifest what we are seeking, or as I like to say, we'll manifest, or even better, humanifest. Y'all humans, I love the human first movement. We're kind of working on that slowly. But that just means that we're going to work with AI, but we're going to just have humans go first, because we're the ones who made AI. And it's important that we work together. I love AI, and we need to make them know that being human first means learning to draw, not just having them draw something. Making music yourself, not just having them make music. Not that you don't use that as tools, but that you continue to be a creative person. So that's my own philosophy, I guess you could say. And I will get off the box right now and talk about something far more important. And that is the law of one. Because as we said, this is humanity's choice. The law of one is free will. It's the law of one means that there are certain universal laws that are even galactic laws, that they cannot have us do things against our will unless They control certain things we care about, and we don't even know we're agreeing to through the music, entertainment, and various other means, the news and such. So what we need to do is take back our law of one and say that we have free will and that we want to choose what it is that we know to be true. And then the other thing I wanted to say is, people often ask, is it free will or destiny? And I say, it's both. That's right. Free will and a destiny. Each of us acting out our free will simultaneously. Free will and destiny. Each of us acting out our free will simultaneously. So 4 planets are at 4 degrees, July 19th to the 22nd, 2026. Now, that doesn't mean that that's the only time that matters. However, you can do this work at any time and it's helpful to you. This is what I call astro opportunities. And that's what this is, a big astro opportunity, because what it's all about, the number 4 is a sacred number, and it's really about our stability and understanding what is our stability. So I wanted to ask you if you have an idea of what your lotus heart vision is. And when I say that's a lotus heart vision, it's letting the heart lead your steps and your soul guide the way towards what it is will truly make you joyful and wanting to get up every day and live because you're excited to live. So the idea here is that we have many timelines co-created by all the choices that we make. So if we make a choice in a certain direction, it's going to take us down that timeline until we consciously change that. Now, we can change that by having sudden, hard situations that come about or some good things that come about. There's all kinds of ways that can change. But we're going to talk more about that because timeline changing is really about your energetics. And as you really embrace that, you'll slow down and just enjoy your life more. And it actually helps everything. So, anyways, it's it's co-created by all the choices we make, but we all want to choose our best life. There are things that come to us that we didn't even know to ask for. So we can't always know exactly what's best for us. Even though we have a good idea, things can come that we didn't even know to ask for. So, what choices do we make daily that keep us stuck? Now, I'm going to be telling all kinds of questions this thing. So, when I ring the bell, that means it's time for you to consider this question. What choices do we make daily that keep us stuck? And then, what would free you? Do you know? Do you want to know? So, right now is an amazing time. Even though anytime you watch this, anytime, and it's a great time for you to walk through the doorway that you're really ready to walk through and make that your next step. So what is that? Something that feels so right that you want to do it for years to come, or at least it's the direction of you doing things for years to come. It just feels like yes. You don't get any no's or maybes, because maybes are really no's. What you want is yes, yes, yes. That's what I want to do. That's what I want to do. So once you are sure about what that is, the doorway that you want to go through, then you need to be very clear about this lotus heart vision. What is that? If you, yes, I want to paint, but what's your lotus heart vision? I want to paint images that inspire people, that could be in hospitals or healing centers. You know what I mean? That's a lotus heart vision. It's specifically you. So what we're going to do by optimizing this Lotus Lionsgate, that we're doing a Zoom event on Lionsgate, and I'll tell you more. It's down below in the link where you can sign up for that. I'm giving a certain amount of free tickets, and then also there's some paid tickets. So if you sign up right away, you get one of the free tickets. Anyways, this Lionsgate Zoom event is about 5D insights and an Astro Chi Lotus Heart vision activation. That's right. Because 4 planets are at 4 degrees. I'm doing this. I've been working on it all for a while, but especially today. And it is for days now till the 22nd. These 4 planets are in 4 degrees. So plant, nurture, and share your Lotus Heart Vision seed. That is something that is really potent. A good time to do this for you. So we're going to continue now with something that you may have heard of before. It's pronounced Ikigai. And this is a Japanese concept meaning a reason for being. Now, this you may have seen the Ikigai chart here. As you see, there's various different parts of our vision, and our Ikigai is in the center because it is our passion, our mission, our vocation, our profession. So it's what you can be paid for, it's what the world needs, it's what you're good at, and it's what you love. That's a Lotus Heart vision. So I actually went a little further because I love to teach astrology, and these are all the different aspects of this Ikigai to the planet's meanings. Ooh, so if you wanted to understand each of the planets, you could understand this more. Like the mission is Saturn, the passion is Mars, what you love is the sun, and the emotional balance, that's the moon. What you're good at is Jupiter. What the world needs is Neptune, that's your vision. And what you can be paid for, that's Venus. Venus wants what she can have in return for what she offers. Professions, Pluto. Yep. And vocations, Uranus. Now, Uranus is sudden changes. So that's why a profession is more foundational, and a vocation is something that might change. You may have many vocations in a certain profession. Anyways, the ability to express all you do, that's Mercury. So if you want to learn more about astrology, finding our soul purpose, prosperity, how to use our gifts to serve, and our birth times, which are a lifetime lesson plan. That's what it is. And if you really study it, you study people. I don't study astrology. I study people, and I study how to get along. Can we all just get along? Because that's what I really would like. And astrology really helps. I don't know how people raise kids without seeing their charts. It's the owner's manual, really. And it doesn't mean that you should listen to an astrologer's interpretation. It means that you should learn astrology enough to understand your own child's chart, because it will help you so much. I can't say that enough. Anyways, let's continue here. This is a song of mine that I wrote because everybody at 2012 thought the world was ending because the Mayan calendar was ending. I don't know if you remember that. Do you remember that? Anyways, that's why I called it 2013, which means we made it. So 2013 was Across the Universe, done in a jazz track. and Jamie Emersol's band with Steve Ali and some others that were just brilliant jazz artists that are the background. So we want to know what this message means, and the message is pretty amazing because I you'll see that I did the version of the Beatles, which the phrase Jaya Guru Deva translates to glory to the shining remover of darkness. But I've heard other things that here I said glory, praises, appreciation, that's Jaya. Deva, the great mother father energy. Guru, teacher of, and then Om, universal oneness. So as you can see, there's a lot of, ways to interpret this beautiful, beautiful prayer that was in here that I wanted to offer at a time where I can't tell you enough people were freaking out. And I was just like, we're going to survive. I know we're going to survive. It's just the end of an era. And that's what I said. It's just got to shift with the shift and co-create the world anew. So that's what we're doing here. And let me see how this works, because I'm thinking it will probably work. Let's see if they let me do it. Okay, I'm back. Let's see if everything's on here. There we go. So that was really important for me to put out. I was blessed with a Hollywood Music and Media nomination for that song in jazz. And really meaningful the way all these wonderful Lotus Heart yoga dancers came along to be in it and how it all unfolded quite miraculously at the sunset. Anyways, my point is that there is a shift going on. We just have to shift with the shift and co-create the world anew, and this is the new earth that we've been talking about. So we are moving on to that. And let me see, I'm hoping I'm able to go on. Am I not? I think I have to do this. Here we go. Boom. Sorry. I'm learning. Not quite. There we go. Yes. Very good. Now we'll just scurry on to the next one here. I don't know how to get out of that, but I wanted to see it at full view, but we can come over here and see it at full view again. Okay, there we go. So, New Earth relationship astrology. Yes, that's something I am very, very interested in because I really do want to come to a place where I understand how we can get along. Isn't that the most important thing? We all learned in kindergarten, and then what happened, right? So, my focus is actually doing emotionally intelligent art education that teaches community building in a preventative, restorative application that is my action research for what I'm offering that I did like 20 years ago when they called it hippie stuff. Now they call it social emotional learning and, various different other similar kind of, things that we want to shift, interpersonal relations and various things like that. So anyways, stay tuned, co-creativeconnections.com. It's there if you're interested down below. Anyways, so we're talking about 4 planets at 4 degrees to prepare for Lion's Gate and beyond, meaning you can use this later too, because there's a lot of ideas here that are timeless. So, 4 great stages of the 4. New Earth, the first, the Great Distraction. We've been going through that for a while. As you know, we were distracted with Hollywood films, with various different things that happen. And I'm not going to get political here. I'm just saying there's been a lot of things to distract us. One, just being our phones, right? I mean, we're distracted by our phones. And so that's the great distraction, is when kind of phones and computers became central to especially kids, their lives. And the next stage is the Great Deception. And that's where we were really lied to about COVID and about a lot of things. And I don't know where you sit on that now, but now it's all coming out and I can talk freely. For a long time, I couldn't talk because I kind of knew it right away, but that's me because I question authority. Not everybody does, but I definitely do. So anyways, that is a whole nother thing. And then the great disclosure, which is happening now. Everybody's talking about all these things being disclosed that are coming out, all these things that were in a burn bag that are coming out, all these things that are proof that this happened and the deep state has done this and that and everything. And you know what? We've known it for years. But what can we do about it? We're just people, and I never wanted to get stressed out. I knew too many people who were conspiracy struck, who were really not living their best life because they were very filled with fear. So it's important that we release the fear at this time. And that's part of the choice that we need to make. And the choice of releasing the fear, forgiving the issues, opening our hearts to the infinite love that we are. When we do that, oh my goodness, doors start opening, things start happening. And that's where, if we do that now at the Lionsgate, when it's an incredible hoops that are lining up for us to go through, if we do it now, it's very potent. Not saying it wouldn't be later if you watch this at another time, still very potent. These are things that will always be timeless as far as our transformation. However, it is very potent as 4 planets are at 4 degrees preparing for Lionsgate 2026 and beyond. So this is some of the astrology charts. I don't want to go into too much of it, but this is what's so important. You see, the time right now when I'm videotaping this is when 4 planets are at 4 degrees. Pluto, the planet of transformation. Neptune, which is dreams and visions. And Uranus, sudden changes. And Jupiter, opportunities. Now, those are all wonderful things, but they are also the light and the shadow. So Pluto can be transformation, but it can also be repression or addiction or really serious issues. Life, death, all kinds of things. My point is, transformation happens many ways. That's why your choice really matters. And the way that we choose is by choosing a lot of aspects of our life that are in alignment with what we choose. So it's not just choosing once, it's choosing a life that supports the choices that you truly feel want, to manifest, womanifest, humanifest into your life. So that's what we're doing. Lionsgate, it peaks on the 8th. It happens, it's when Sirius, the planet, is in alignment with the sun, and it was very important to the Egyptians, and it's a time we're getting all these energy and surges of energetics, solar flares, and things are happening. I'm not sure if they're happening because of Lionsgate, because Lionsgate happens every year. So it's an opportunity to get your energy together, if you will, as another semester, September, starts in the fall. However you want to see it. It's life is a school, life is a, opportunity. And what we have here, if you look very closely, you see that we have, I think it's right here. Yeah, on this one here. We have Jupiter at 4 degrees. We have Uranus at 4 degrees in Gemini and Jupiter in Leo. We have Neptune at 4 degrees, Aries. And then our 4th one is Pluto at 4 degrees. Now, if early this morning the moon in Libra was there for a little while, there were 5 planets, but really these are outer planets that move very slowly, but they don't always align. In fact, that's why there's only a time between the 19th and the 22nd when they are all at 4 degrees. Then they start changing, because different ones have different timing depending upon how far they are from us. And the timeline that they are on, each one has their own cycles. It's quite interesting as you come to understand it. Pluto in Aquarius opposite the vortex in Leo, and Mercury in Cancer is one thing. And then Venus goes into Libra opposite Saturn and Neptune in Aries. So there's a lot going on for the Lionsgate itself. That's what's happening that day. Pluto, Uranus, and Venus in a grand air trine. That's why I thought this is really wonderful. Oh, but then I found out there were 4 planets at 4 degrees just a few weeks before, and I thought, that's really auspicious. And I promised myself I would tell you about it. So that's what this video is about. So we're going to continue on here with the, I call this the dance of the transits. Yeah, the dance of the transits. The dance of the transits. Yeah. Neptune stations at 4 degrees Aries on July 7th. So that was the first one going to 4 degrees Aries. Neptune. Neptune is our vision focus. Then July 16th, Uranus went to 4 degrees Gemini, which is synchronicity awareness. And then July 18th, just the other day, Uranus formed its first exact trine with Pluto. And that it has not had since 1921 and 1922. So this is kind of cool, right? Uranus forms an exact trine with Pluto. Now, trine is a harmonious aspect, and Uranus trine Pluto is very powerful. They're both outer planets that are, focusing on energy that's more generational or affecting a lot of us, because those outer planets move so slowly that they do affect a lot who are born at the same time. Anyways, it's asking us to awaken and meet transformation. So it's awakening meets transformation. That's what that is, because awakening is Uranus, transformation is Pluto. Then July 18th, also, Jupiter reaches 4 degrees Leo, and our hearts expand with that Leo energy. And July 19th through the 22nd, as I said, 4 planets gather at 4 degrees, these 4 planets. A cosmic invitation for conscious choice, because it's stability. What is your stability? And that's your choice. Being able to choose is what allows you to be stable. And the more you have choice in your life, the more stable you can be. And doesn't mean that if you aren't stable because your life is hard right now, it doesn't mean that you're not stable inside. That's a choice. You can have things happening all around you and choose to be stable inside. So that's the kind of stability I'm talking about. So it's a cosmic invitation for conscious choice for that inner stability. And July 22nd, the 4 of the 4 reaches its symbolic peak. Okay, so that's when this whole time focusing on really searching inside for what is your lotus heart vision? What is it you want to give the world? What is it that you know that you have to offer that is unique and yet effortless, so that you're able to go into flow doing it? So those are the kind of questions I want you to ask yourself during this period, between now and the 22nd especially, and then until Lionsgate on August 8th, when we have a event on Zoom if you're interested in joining. So that's on Eventbrite. The link is down below. So we have this, as we align deeper with our Lotus Heart vision, as the Lionsgate opens, and that's August 8th, 2028. So that's what we're doing right now. This is really incredible. And what you can do to optimize jump to your highest timeline, what is that you could do? Prepare. And I'm telling you that what the preparation is, and I actually have a download down below for some things that can be very helpful to do. The most important thing for you to do is to align with your passion for what you want to do with your life, the thing that you really want to do. When you are doing other things, you're thinking about it. You know that's what you really want to do. That's your Lotus Heart vision, especially if it's specific. I don't mean like, oh, I love to paint. You know, you love to paint things that are abstract realists, that have some multimedia aspects to, mixed media, collage, and you get specific, because if you get specific, you'll do it, and doing it is what it's all about. Action. So focus your visions from the 23rd to the 7th before the Lion's Gate. But right now, really, really focus on what that lotus heart vision is, what's really being your emotional healing. The thing that makes you healed when you do it is a good indication that that's your lotus heart vision. So I'm going to tell you a little thing that I've worked with clients a lot on. And this is how I tell them, if you don't really know what you want to give the world, this is a method that I call the backwards maze theory. Okay. Now, we've all been in a maze. You start at the outside and you try to get to the center, but that's not what we're doing here. We're actually building a business that feeds your soul successfully, a calling that you love, a culmination of all your life work, your calling. That's what we're culminating. So the way it works is you start at the end of the maze, right? Where you're living your call. That's where it's at the end. Oh, finally you arrived. You're living your calling, right? Okay, so you start there. What does it feel like? Does it feel like, just this incredible energy for having really accomplished and followed through on your heart's center, your lotus heart vision, the thing that gives you passion to do every day when you get up? And if you don't have something like that, I can help you with that too. But right now, I want you to try this little exercise where you're in the center of your maze, where you are at the end, where you have lived your calling and you are satisfied and you know that's the right thing that you did. So then you're going to say, okay, how did I do this? And the first thing you say, well, I found something that I love to talk about. And I could talk about it endlessly. I could talk about it again and more and do research and love to talk to different people about what they think about it. Okay, that's your first indication that that's your lotus heart vision. If you just can't stop talking about it, or you want people to know about it because it really is something that does feed your energy and feed your soul. Okay, so that's number one. Number two, who do you love to hang out with? I mean, I love artists. I love musicians of all kinds. And I love intellectual people that are still in their hearts. And I love talking to babies and kids. So then you're like, oh my God, I'm all over the place. So then you narrow it down and you say, okay, but who do I really want to work with as a whatever you do, counselor, life coach, whatever. So who are the people that you would like to work with, that you like to hang out with, those kinds of adults that can pay you? So anyways, you realize who it is that you love to hang out with, and you walk back from the center to the beginning of the maze, asking each person, oh, if they're into what you do, how can I help you? What are you interested in doing? In other words, you ask the people who are interested in you what they need instead of giving them what you think they ought to have. Isn't that fun? Okay. So, basically, you find those who resonate with you. It's inevitable. And you ask them, what are they seeking? And by listening to the people you love to hang out with, you find out what they need is what you have to offer. And success is inevitable. Okay, so that was the backwards maze theory. And there's a few concepts I wanted to talk about. Intuition. Intuition is doing what we love. Confirmation is loving what we do. And acceleration is gaining mastery skills in what we love to do. Because as we do this, a calling is when you find a job or a community who seeks the skills that you love to offer. After gaining mastery in those skills and unique set of disciplines, you find yourself in demand for all the different things you have to offer. So that to me is a calling, where you land in a place that really needs what you have to offer because you've been listening and training and gaining more skills that you would be able to use one day. And that's what's so beautiful about this understanding. And destiny is really cool. Destiny is everyone doing their free will simultaneously. That creates destiny. Isn't that cool? Because we're all connected. So if we're all doing our destinies, that itself creates a destiny. Yeah, because we're all doing our free will, which is, our destiny, but also it creates certain synchronicities. And that's what's so wonderful about life. And co-creative contracts are shuffled that way. We have a lot of co-creative contracts that we have with all different kinds of people, but they are shuffled as we accept what we need to do, and we connect with our guides. And so that's just a process where we understand our contracts are done when we no longer have any charge on that person. You say their name and they're like, oh yeah, nothing. Then the contract's over. If somebody's name and you just go, oh my gosh, I can't stand that guy, blah, 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 then the contract's still going strong. And if you want to end the contract, forgiveness, see that person in white light, let them go, and heal your heart by doing something creative. Usually is what helps me the most. That might help you too. Anyways, this is important information because we all want to be happy. And we will introduce more of this at our Zoom gathering on August 8th. It's 4 o'clock Central Time. And this is a 2026 Lionsgate, the fourth one I've done. And I am offering a new thing I've been doing for many years, Qigong sound healing and yoga dance Qi flow forms. I am putting together what I'm calling psychic physical prayer poem movement. Is that cool or what? It's so much fun to do. I must say, I kind of had a thing about exercising, but I love doing this. It just feels so empowering. And each time you do it to 4 directions and the 4 corners actually that's are, I don't know many people who have honored the corners of like northwest, northeast, southeast, southwest. But this is all about the corners. And remember the thing I told you about, the planting your lotus heart vision, and then you do this. This is all part of that. And then you have it go around. So that's just, whoops. It's just one thing. But what I want to do is see if I can get this videotaped for you, because it's like a 20-minute thing. You do it in 4 directions and it just feels so good, and it works every part of your body, and it feels like you're empowering your whole soul as you do this movement. Anyways, I would love to introduce that to you at the August 8th Lionsgate, our 4th annual one. And I just wanted to tell you about our movement, Co-Creating Love movement. And this is some websites that you can also find down below. And I just want to say that when we offer our life work, we uplift the collective vibe. The collective vibe is lifted up, and heaven offers us increased flow. So that's how you get things flowing there. That's right. not just being in the zone, but allowing the zone to be. And this is another video that I made. And this video is from a Lemurian wise woman who came to me for healing. And I have another video about her healing process, but this is a video that she made where she danced in my video. She was having lupus attacks. She could not dance. And just a few weeks of working with her, and then she could dance and do this beautiful video. So this is a Shira, a Lemurian wise woman, angel whisperer, and lotus heart yoga dancer. And I'm going to kick back and let you watch that. And then we'll end up with just a little bit more here, talking a little bit more about what we're doing for the 8th. And stand by. Here we go. Let's see if I can do this again. Here we go. Yeah, here we go. I think they just told me I was Lemurian. You know, not always, Alrighty, you're back. Okay, so let's see if I can do this again. I think I can. Boom. There's that. Hold on. There we go. Okay, now we're gonna go. I think I might be off still. Let's see, am I off? Sorry if I'm off. Here we go. Let's go right back here. And I'm gonna just do a few more slides here. This is about our event that we're doing. Let's see, I'll get this up and going here. There we go. And there we go. And let's see if it'll let me undo myself. Come on. Oh my gosh, I love Zoom. Here we go. Thank you. So nice to let me be included. Okay, beautiful. It has a pop-up. It has its own mind. Anyways, this is what we're doing here. Empaths, new earth timelines are shifting. Choose your timeline. It's a peak alignment of Osiris and the sun at the Lion's Gate, plus these 4 planets of 4 degrees. So we're saying till 8. I don't know if we'll go that late, but I would like to have that time. Sometimes I give people readings afterwards. And so stick around. If that's something you're interested, there is a link down below. Unique energetics and astro opportunities. That's right. Of the Lion's Gate 2026. Imagine your flow as a dance of transits, living your lotus heart visions and soul blossoming. And soul blossoming is something that I love to do for empaths. I call this right here. Oh dear, let's go back. I call it Rise of the Super Empaths. And that's this painting here I did. And the soul blossoming that they are doing, that's what's the other part to it, because that means that they're really accepting who they are, opening up to it, and really remembering who they are, which is everything I do has one simple purpose: helping humanity remember who we are. So Rise of the Super Empaths are like empathic leaders are coming up to help our world to shift, co-creative artists, Lotus Heart empaths who thrive as super empaths. So I love mentoring empaths that way. So this is a very interesting painting that I did that I actually painted upside down. And my partner called me and said, "Oh my gosh, these UFOs just flew out of LA and over across the West Coast." And I went, "Oh my gosh, really?" And I turned my painting right side up, and then you can see these are UFOs coming out of the West Coast. And that's Florida, and that's Maine, and that's Washington and Seattle and Oregon, and that's California. Right here coming out. It was amazing. And when I realized that, as soon as I saw it and realized it, I heard a message. And the message said, "We are of God, we are your ancestors, and we're here to help." Poof. Wow. And I kid you not, that was when I was like, you know what? I feel very strongly about this. So this is something that I'm going to give you in the download. I'm not going to go over it now, but basically you start with prayer hands. I'm just going to do it, not teach it. But we are one. You are loved. With your big lotus heart hands, yes, infinitely rising until the thumbs are at the third eye, and then you kind of massage it, beginning to spiral there, and then with infinite love. So remember the circle, live your calling, prayer hands at the back of the head and the elbows touch the ear, and then prayer hands touch the third eye. Infinitely wise, and whole with infinite love. Now we go like this and we close that off. It's going a little blurred here. Let's see if I can do it again. If you do the lotus hands and you close it off, you have an infinity symbol. So that's the infinity symbol. Kind of cool with infinite love, very much into the infinite love vibe. Okay, so like I said, there's the 4 great stages that are happening. There's some other wonderful things that are happening. It's time to shift into 5D. Our Aquarian age is when Pluto went to Aquarius on March 23rd, 2023. And it's been dancing around. It's going to stay there till 2044. So this is a big change. It's the furthest planet now in Aquarius where all the others have been. It gets to finally has its Aquarian. So relationship renaissance, humanitarian, egalitarian ethics. That's right. So thank you for staying to the end and listening about this transition. Like I said, down below is the message that will tell you a little bit more about the Lions Gate Zoom event that's happening. You can find the link for the Eventbrite event, and also a link for a download that's daily things that you can do for this Lotus Heart visioning process that you're going to be doing now into the 22nd, big time. What is it that you have to offer this world? Then between that, refine it, really hone it. Take a few small steps so that when you get to the Lion's Gate, you are ready to take that step. Whether you do a Lion's Gate celebration with us or on your own, or just it just happens naturally. Oh wow, it's August 8th. I guess I should do some ritual at home for this thing I want to manifest into my life. Womanifest or humanifest, as you want to say. Anyways, thank you for joining me on this wonderful journey. This has really been fun, and I'm really appreciating this whole experience. Thank you for this wonderful journey that you are on that led you to watch this video. Blessings. Peace.